Hi, my name is Katie, and this is an overview of my classroom management plan. One of the most important jobs a teacher has is managing their classroom. I believe it's the teacher's responsibility to provide their students with a safe and positive learning environment. Some qualities a teacher must possess to have an effective classroom are being very organized, having clear expectations, and a firm discipline plan. My philosophy on classroom and behavior management is I find that behavioral and classroom management is the most important part of teaching. To maximize a student's learning abilities, the student must feel safe, comfortable, and happy, not only with the teacher, but in their classroom as a whole and around their peers. The first day in the classroom can set the tone for the entire school year. I find it important to be nurturing to students on the first day because this can be very nerve-wracking for students, but I also think that this is the first day when students should learn the classroom rules, expectations, and consequences. I think it can be very effective to reward students who stay on task and do what they're expected to do and follow instructions. Some students need that extra push to stay motivated. Um, while every student is different, I will always love and treat and respect my students the same. Diversity is a major part of all school systems, and all students should be treated as the same regardless of gender, race, or religion. I will strive to be a positive role model for my students and will always look out for their best interest. When I go to set up my future classroom, my main priority will be safety. Whenever I master safety in there, I want to make my room brightly colored and also clutter free. My classroom will be organized and will have shelves and bulletin boards to display the current subjects we're covering. I will have my students' desks placed in groups of four so we can incorporate cooperative learning throughout the day. I think it is very important to maintain a classroom where students feel safe. Students should be aware of all rules and expectations from day one. The rules should include issues concerning bullying, violence, aggressive behaviors, and when and where students are allowed on campus throughout the school day. Throughout my career of substituting, I've seen aggressive students. Most tend to be verbally aggressive, not physically aggressive, but I think it's important for teachers to get to know each student so that way they can figure out which strategy works best with that student. My 5 classroom rules are listen when other students or the teacher is talking, respect everyone and respect the materials in the classroom. I think it's equally as important to respect the materials because then they will last longer and students will be able to use them. Do not speak out of turn. Students should raise their hands when they want a turn to speak. Stay in your seat. Students tend to want to wander around the room during instructional time, and this is when they will miss instructions and they'll end up asking more questions. Keep hands to yourself. This is a sure way to spread germs. Classroom procedures are important in maintaining an organized classroom. My first classroom procedure is how to enter a classroom. Students will enter the room, place their backpacks on the hangers, and read quietly until a morning announcement starts. My second procedure is moving around the classroom. There should be no movement unless students raise their hands specifically to ask for water or use the restroom, and if it's during instructional time, it should be an emergency. The third classroom procedure is how and where to turn in work. Students will be responsible for turning in their work when they finish it, and they will know where the turn-in box is located. My fourth classroom procedure is how to walk in the hallways. Students must remain in a single file line with their hands to themselves and their voices off to ensure that we don't disrupt other classrooms that are learning at the time. My fifth classroom procedure is how I will get my classroom's attention. I will do a series of claps, and the students must stop what they are doing and respond with my claps that I did. I've seen this done in classrooms and throughout substituting, and it is very effective. Responding to behaviors, I will respond to negative behavior by taking away students' time at recess, and I will also pull them aside and talk to them instead of, I don't want to embarrass them in front of other students. To reward my students that have good behavior, I will give them coupons that they'll be able to turn in at the end of the week. For example, a homework pass or even a move a seat pass for the day. Each new school year, students should know that many students may need accommodations, and they should be appropriately prepared to handle these accommodations. I will respond to the special needs on a basis of what the student needs, whether that be special homework or different assignments in the classroom, or even reading questions to them when they are taking quizzes or doing schoolwork in the classroom, and also ensuring I have a paraprofessional in the room if need be. I plan to communicate with parents by stamping the student's agenda each day, and I will have a certain color, um, which will that I will stamp in their agenda, which will just let parents know how their day went throughout the day. If they get a color that is lower, like they had a rough day, I will make sure to write down why I gave them that color and what behavior they need to work on. I will also communicate with parents through email if need be and by phone. Thank you for listening to my classroom management plan.